really great video. This guy puts out excellent content and talking about, using Banana Pro and just so many great little tips. And I love how y'all are always adding to the conversations in here. But I definitely recommend everybody come join us over in Skool. It's free, and you just get so much information. This is a new guy I just discovered. He showed up randomly in my feed, and he is a YouTube expert. I just started binge watching his stuff after discovering him, like on Sunday, I think it was. It just randomly popped up. So I shared some of this in our community because this guy knows his stuff, and really great information on the current algorithm with YouTube, and how this was something interesting he had mentioned that I wasn't 100% sure of. He said YouTube is now using Gemini AI to analyze your videos using your words, visuals, and tone. And that was eye-opening. But that's a lot of these platforms are utilizing AI now. And we have to remember YouTube is owned by Google. So it's no surprise, right? But just I'm always finding interesting things. I definitely encourage our members, as y'all find interesting things, to come, post it in our community. So come join us at Skool. We'd love to see you in there. And I appreciate y'all being in there. It makes it so fun.
Wow, you got a lot of channels going on today. I was looking at how many places we're going live to.
Oh, we are? Oh my gosh, we are. We're live. Wow. So when I first got here and was getting set up, there was like a handful. But yeah, right now we're on multiple Facebooks, LinkedIn, YouTubes, X. I see we got Twitch on there. That must be Bez. Yeah, we're all over the place. And I think my Facebook, let me go check. I've been in Facebook jail. I couldn't live stream for a whole month. And I see Barb's. Okay, let me see if mine's in there. Yay, it's working. For anybody watching live on my Facebook, finally I'm out of Facebook. Is just, man, these platforms are so strict and doing a lot of censorship now. And because my side thing is the, Kratom education and advocacy I do, boy, I'm constantly in trouble. I've been in YouTube jail twice last month. Just got out of Facebook jail they wouldn't let me live stream for a month because of these old posts that mentioned the word Kratom, and they didn't like it. And they're doing this to everybody in our community. They're all getting these notices right now. Some people have lost their accounts. But these platforms are using AI to do this. And we've talked about that here before, but they're all doing it now. They're all using AI for moderation, which probably put a lot of people out of work.
I don't know. I think about that because I think a lot of it has been AI moderated for a long time.
You think so?
They just didn't call it that. Yeah. That's my thought.
Because they always had like people in these, offices that like all they did all day and all night was monitor everything. And that was like a big thing for years.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's where all those layoffs came off. This like we could get a bot for that,
Yeah.
But I got a survey this week because I have a small Facebook group, and just a weird survey like, I understand is it easy to understand the terms and conditions and the rules? What's my interactions like? Were they good, bad? It was sort of like, obviously I answered in the affirmative as much as I can, but not all the way in the affirmative, but just enough because I haven't really had much problems. But, by the way, LinkedIn only lets you stream to one. If so, yours is the one that's leading the way on LinkedIn. So
okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
it's I tried to do mine. Says no, there's
really.
Really? Yeah. I know why that is, Bez. It's because the account is in the same destination folder.
Oh,
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
If you had a separate StreamYard account, then it would work. Yeah, because I had. Yeah, it doesn't differentiate that way.
That's interesting. Good to know. You're on top of all things live streaming.
Well,
video.
I'll have a client, like I had one earlier today that I was streaming. She's like, "Oh, well, I want to go live to my LinkedIn and to the other people's LinkedIn." I said, "Well, because you added their LinkedIn to your destination, I said, you can't. I said, if
Yeah.
you sent them the guest link, it would work. So
Okay.
that's the catch.
Got it. Okay. Good to
But
know.
I did notice a couple new StreamYard things that I don't know if you've played with them yet, but you can time your banners.
Okay, I saw that. You know, it's crazy how just about every day you go into
Yeah.
StreamYard, there's a new pop-up of like, here's a new feature, here's a new, like all this stuff. So I saw that, but I haven't tried it yet.
Right.
Is it? Oh, I see the button. Okay, so like, I haven't
Like,
tried it yet.
yeah, and you can make it up to 60 seconds in there, or 10 I think 10 seconds is the shortest period.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, timer. Okay, show for 10 seconds.
Now, what would be neat, and it doesn't work with the ticker, what would be neat is if you could make it like say, okay, do these banners in order, right? Like just kind of like this one goes on, this one goes off, this one goes off.
Yeah, I was wondering if it did that, but I hadn't played with it yet until just now.
Not
Okay,
yet.
so it just played that for 10 seconds that I was doing, but I guess if I do that again, I'm gonna have to go in and turn that off and say.
And you can do it by banner.
Yeah, I see that. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm like going in here.
But you have it. Yeah, I think by default it tries to put the timer on. I noticed too, because I was.
Okay, this could. I'm trying to think like when this could. You know, one of the issues I have, since I'm always doing all the banners on my other my Kratom live stream. Sometimes if I'm like doing a shout out to a brand, I wish I had somebody doing the controls and put a banner up for me when because I'm too busy talking and trying to think what I'm saying. So I was wondering if there's a way to do it like based on when you say something, but I don't think there'll be something like that.
Right.
But the timer is just basically how long it stays on the screen.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. I'm going to say something which is going to sound weird, but I'm going to say clip it, and we'll see if this does something later, because this account has a beta feature right now.
Okay.
And so that's supposed to now create an automatic AI clip after this is over. So we'll see if that actually works. What I think is weird is I think that's what they wanted us to do, is say clip it. And I just think that that's kind of a weird thing to do while you're live, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the tips. But yeah, I just love all the new features they keep adding for us to make, live streaming even better,
Yeah. Well, they just I don't know if you saw my post on Substack, or I guess Note, right? I got to get used to saying the terminology. But Bending Spoons is going to buy Eventbrite.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a big announcement. Yeah.
Wow.
Half $500 million offer.
Cash too. In cash.
What's interesting, I guess when Eventbrite went public, it was worth over $1 billion. So they've actually lost value. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bending Spoons and how people start to feel about Eventbrite. Because as we've seen, when Eventbrite does things, or I should say Bending Spoons, prices tend to go up and people tend to disappear. Just saying.
That offer they got, even though it's less than when they went IPO, is better than what the stock was performing. And so, of course they said, yes, we'll take your offer, because their stock wasn't performing that well.
But, they also, because now that they also have Vimeo, you just kind of wonder, are they going to integrate any of these products into this platform?
Right. Exactly.
Do they have StreamYard too?
Yeah.
Yeah, they bought StreamYard used to be.
Yeah, you didn't. That was the whole big thing.
I got confused with Hopin. Like Hopin by StreamYard.
Those guys still have Hopin, right? I think they kept that.
So no, actually, so Hopin bought StreamYard, and then the combined company sold off Hopin to, I think it's one of those like call. I can't remember the exact name of the thing. It's like call something. It's a software. Ring Central. That's it. Yeah. I knew it had to do with the phone. So they sold Hopin specifically to that and kept StreamYard. And then, of course, Gage and Dan, I guess, put in a bid when the big company decided to sell, but Bending Spoons got to take it. And unfortunately, Gage and Dan are no longer part of the team. But I keep waiting for them to come up with something. I don't know if they have an NDA that made them wait for a period of time, but
they were great.
Yeah, probably.
Smart
But
guy.
that's
Yeah.
normal actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope
Yep.
they
Just
reemerge at some point because I love their Sunday night live stream, letting you know what's the latest with StreamYard. I just love that they did that, and
Yep.
you could just see how personable they were and how much they cared about the community.
Yep.
Hmm.
But I will say I'll give Mateo and the team credit. They are getting more involved with.
They're better. Yeah.
But
It was
yeah.
a rocky start for them because boy, they were not taking care of the customers. I know, I don't know if Barb's able to talk at the moment, but I know Barb had a lot of issues.
Mhm.
I was having
Hmm.
a lot of issues with them too during that time when they got bought out, and a lot of problems. But everything's a lot better now, and I love all the new features. Let's go dive into all this stuff because I got a lot to show y'all today.
Yeah.
So, y'all know those that come here regularly know how much I love MAGAI. Such a great all-in-one AI tool. If you have not used this, you definitely need to go on their website that I'm showing right now. Go check it out. Check it out. I even have a discount if anybody would like to use this. You can get 30% off for 3 months with my code. And that's not like that's a special Destin lets me do. They just had a big Black Friday sale, and that was the deal, I think. And I'm like, oh, well, I already get to offer this with my code with Madalyn 30. But it does so many great things, and I want to show you all something that Destin had just added. Although let me just real quick just show like what all, it's an all-in-one where you basically have like all the main LLM and image generators in one place. So it's just one login, you pay one low price. I paid $20 a month, and you can see on the screen here that's just you get everything you want. And the Nano Banana Pro is in there now, the brand new one. So
Ooh.
let me show you because Destin made an announcement. So let me grab this real quick so I can show
Because
you all.
even with my Google Workspace account, I don't have the level where I have the Pro. I guess you have to
Yeah,
pay a little bit extra
you
for
got to
that.
pay. So what they were doing, because this just got launched like last week, I think it was. Right? Does that sound right? Was it last
A week
week?
or two. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty recently. And but we were out last week for the Thanksgiving holiday. But it came out, and I'm just on the regular free Gemini, the regular that most of us have. And it lets you use the Nano Banana Pro, but then it'll stop you at some point and say, okay, like you've used up enough. I think it won't let you use that model for like a 24 hours, I think it was, or something. But then it prompts you to go upgrade. And I'm really tempted because right now with the upgrade, it's they give you the first month for free. So it's $0 for the first month and then $19.99 after. But it just goes back to how many of these do I need to be paying for every month? But in my testing of Nano Banana Pro versus the regular, I'm seeing quite a difference. Like Nano Banana was fast. This is faster, and it just things that I've been putting into it come out better. So I'm going to show some examples of this. But what Dustin from MAGAI announced is that all MAGAI users have Nano Banana Pro, which is the newest, Claude 4.5 Opus, Grok 4 Fast, and Grok 4.1 Fast. And he even says this 4.1 Fast is free for use for a limited time, meaning when you're with MAGAI, you're paying the $20 a month, and then you get like so many credits. If you're using the tool a lot, then you go through. I think maybe once I burned through my credits, maybe in 1 month, but you can top it off. You can pay a little
Right.
extra, top it off. But it's rare, always rare for me. But when he says, free, well, I believe what he means there is that you won't even be charged any of the tokens for use. So you can use it all you want. And Kling 2.5 standard and pro, I mean, people rave about Kling. So when you're in MAGAI, these all come up now as choices in addition to all the others. So I played around with the Nano Banana Pro in there, and I think it's awesome that we have access to it in there. So for those that have not ventured into using MAGAI, I just feel like Dustin is constantly giving us great examples of why we should be using it because it is so robust. I remember when it first came out, it was just ChatGPT because at the time it was when ChatGPT first came out. But I don't know how many of y'all remember when ChatGPT first came out, that interface was awful. It was awful. It was from what I remember, it was because I got on it very quickly when it first came out. It was clunky and it was dark. I think it was like a dark screen and I like a lighter screen. And you couldn't organize things at all. And Dustin came up with an idea to create a tool where you could organize things. So he had folders right from the start. He was the only tool where you could actually organize your ChatGPT chats. Because I would sit here and go through the sidebar. I'm like, where's a previous chat I had with ChatGPT? Did y'all ever run into that? Because it was incredibly frustrating.
I think I ended up not using it a lot because of that. And that's why I became such a fan of MAGAI, because I liked the fact that it was easy to organize. And it's funny because I think it's more, I'll say part of it is the influence that you've had, Madalyn, is I wasn't paying for ChatGPT until I started to see like, oh, I can do this with the audio. And of course now I'm using it with, Atlas and, but so I think I pay for MAGAI, and because I've always had a Google business enterprise account or whatever, I have the Pro. So I'm using Gemini a lot and I really like what it's letting me do. But I think, what I find funny is so many people are just so focused on ChatGPT. And it's like there's other platforms. And even the videos that you shared in the SKOOL group, plug in the SKOOL group, that was very eye-opening because there was a follow-on video to the one you shared the other day where he went through all the tools. And then he started showing all these things. And so one that I'm now thinking about, maybe you guys are using it, but then I think, oh, there's a word limit and that's another subscription, is WhisperFlow.
I love I've told y'all about WhisperFlow. I'm telling you, WhisperFlow is my best friend. I use it constantly. I use it 24/7 on my phone and on my computer. We've gone through it here before for those that are like, what's WhisperFlow? You just talk to your device and it spits it out perfectly as it's voice to text, but not the typical voice to text that I had such a terrible time with all of those because I was trying to find one several years ago because I had serious wrist problems, just joint issues with my wrist. I could barely use the computer and it was awful. And everybody said you need a voice to text app. And I tried everything and none of them were to my liking, to the point that I would just suffer and just type, and I couldn't type much and I wasn't working very much for a while. But WhisperFlow completely fixes that, and it uses AI to make sure what you're saying comes out right. It's not a typical AI. It's just AI to if I sit here and say or I say I'm doing a text. Yeah, tell her or hey, I'll meet you for lunch at 12. No, let's make it 1:00. Let's do 1:00. It writes it perfectly, like you said it correct from the start. Right? It's going to fix all your errors. But Jim, have you been playing with the free? Because I tell you, you use the free, you fall in love, and you.
I haven't yet because I'm waiting. I want the 2-week free trial to end where it'll be after the first of the month. Because I know they start billing you, and I always try to keep all my stuff.
Whenever there's those free trials, I'm like, okay, I gotta sign up when I know I'm going to spend the time. Because I don't want to just, I totally hear you. But I totally recommend this tool. I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorites. I use it constantly. And because I've been using it day in and day out for months, I notice a huge difference if I don't use it. Sometimes I don't use it because my dog, if she hears me talking, she thinks I'm talking to her. And she'll get in my face and start harassing me because she thinks she's the only person that's being talked to, even though there's nobody else around. But it's because I'm talking into WhisperFlow. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I need to just type because she's bothering me because she thinks I'm talking to her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much slower. I mean, I type fast, but it's like I feel more productive when I'm using WhisperFlow. And if you use it for a period of time, you will see like, wow, this is better.
Hey, I just Googled WhisperFlow.
Mm-hmm.
I use Microsoft, but
Mm-hmm.
hello. But what happened when it came up, because I knew I'd visited the site before, but what came up today, the very top one has WhisperFlow free for Microsoft to install on Windows. Have you guys heard about that? And it says
No.
verified by Microsoft.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think we better research that. I mean, I am obviously running on Microsoft.
I mean,
Right.
I looked at it on
That's
the Mac
interesting.
yesterday, and there was nothing free other than the trial.
Right, but it's a Windows application. It shows it it's verified.
I'll have to go check
put a
on
link to
my
it.
other computer because I do have a PC that
Yeah.
I bought because I was going to use vMix, and that just hasn't happened yet. I haven't had time. And of course, now that Rachel shared in the studio chat that you can now do video on desktop on Substack, I'll be going down that rabbit hole soon.
Oh, nice.
Video with going directly into Substack, or
That's
Yeah,
what
they've
it says.
always had video, but you'll be able to live stream now. And I put the link in our studio chat.
Oh, I missed it. Okay, I'll have to find it.
I haven't used it,
There's a studio chat. Oh, there it is.
but they just
Okay.
announced it. So
Yeah. Breaking news.
yeah. Can I share something, Madalyn, about
Absolutely.
chat and MAGAI? So I've been paying for MAGAI, but I really don't use it. So I was thinking, but I love it. I got used to using chat.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, a couple of days ago, chat had a major outage. And the only reason I knew was because I was in there. I'm very specific about not sharing and my settings. And when I went in there, my face wasn't there. So I was like, am I just on the regular open account? I wasn't on my account. So I kept trying to log in and it wouldn't let me. So I went over to MAGAI and just did whatever I was going to do over there. And I was just like, okay, it's good to have a backup.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, his is on separate servers. My understanding is when you're using MAGAI, it's all private. Like, one of the issues with these different AI tools is how they want to train their models with your content, your information, your data. And it's best to go into each one individually, even if you're on a free account, and turn that part off. Although I did find, y'all may remember, and I remember Barb, we talked about this. I remember you and I talked about this before. So with Gemini, when I was telling y'all when Gemini, the Nano Banana was new and I kept playing with it, but it wouldn't save anything. But I told y'all I turned off because Dustin from MAGAI was here earlier this year, and he talked to us about the whole privacy thing. And he told us like, why it's important to turn all those off so they're not training on your data. And so he walked us through how to do it on ChatGPT. So I showed everybody how to do it also on Gemini and Notebook LM, I think, or one of the others. So I turned that off on Gemini, which is Google, right? Well, they don't like that. That's why they don't save any of my chats. So the other day I'm playing with Nano Banana and I'm like, I wanted to save because also I can show y'all stuff I've done. I can do that with ChatGPT. Like I'll save a link to let me show y'all what I did here. And so I thought, okay, I bet I have to turn that on. I bet that's what. So I turned it on. And sure enough, when I go into Gemini now, into Nano Banana, all my things are there. It's called My Stuff. But see, I turned it off from the start, so I couldn't go back to any of it. So, they know what they're doing. It's a give and take. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we'll let you see all the stuff you've done, but you got to let us train on your data. But back to Jim. So my understanding is Dustin's servers are relaying things back and forth. But if ChatGPT was down, you would think when MAGAI servers are going to OpenAI that there would be an issue. But it's interesting that there wasn't. So interesting, Rachel, with that. I don't know. Very interesting.
Yeah, sorry. I was just looking at that Substack article. But yeah, I mean, it took me a second to go, okay, because I was in the middle of just doing some proposals and just trying to tighten up the language. So I was in the middle of something where I didn't want to get disturbed. And then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And it occurred to me, okay, let's go over to MAGAI and see. And everything was working there. So
Interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a good reason to have that. And with the Nano Banana, because the Pro, they're limiting it on the free account, then I just go over to MAGAI and use it over there. And so that's why I want to show y'all real quick, because Dustin has done a few posts about this. I just want to make sure everybody in our community is aware. So Dustin posted that using Nano Banana inside of Gemini means you're going to have the Gemini watermark, but if you use it in MAGAI, no watermark. So that's good to know. If to me, the watermark's not that big of a deal because it's small. It's at the bottom right side of the page. But I'd rather it not be on there. So it'd be better to do it in MAGAI. Although I did find when I've done the test and did it in both, like, let me use it in MAGAI, let me use Nano Banana Pro in Gemini. For me personally, it worked smoother and faster in Gemini, which I think would be expected. But it was nice playing with it in MAGAI, not having the watermark. But let me show you because Dustin shared a really cool example on his Facebook. So he said that he was able to do a mind-blowing profile picture with just one photo. And he says, go to any Nano Banana integrated app, which could be Google AI Studio, MAGAI, Leonardo. So you can get to it in multiple places. And using the Nano Banana Pro model, upload one photo of yourself with the following prompt. So his prompt says, create a stylish headshot photo of this person, subtle smile, warm skin tones, pristine, long style hair. Dustin's known for his really nice long hair. High fashion portrait, black background with studio lighting, strong, bright, electric blue and pink edge lighting to make the person pop off the background, sharp contrast in the style of a John Wick film. And then he says, you can copy and use this. He said, just changing the details to match what you're looking for. So look at this incredible photo that he got from that one prompt in Nano Banana Pro. And this is available inside of MAGAI. So any thoughts on that? Because it's pretty darn cool.
Impressive. Very impressive.
It is impressive. Of course, I had to go play around with that. And I did it both in MAGAI and directly in Gemini. But I gave it a photo of me, but it tried to make me look older than it didn't like it at all.
I think part of it too, and they put out a prompting guide and was also in that video that you shared. It's like you got to speak more naturally as far as what you're telling Gemini to do. And I think that's part of getting used to the context of what you put in your prompt. But I mean, it's given me some crazy ideas more just for fun, like, taking pictures, like, because to me, I don't know if that was supposed to be like a James Dean look, but when he called it the iconic look where he had the MAGAI on the shirt, but just taking some of those older photos and putting yourself into them kind of reminds me of like when you go to those places, like sometimes in the West or other amusement parks where like you can make your family look like they were in the Wild West or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that could be fun, a fun way to use the AI. So, but it's very cool.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing too with his is that it takes off the little Gemini watermark in the bottom right.
Which is great. I mean, it's great that it does that. I mean, he's just making it great. So I see somebody's watching us over in X and says, I need the prompt, please. I'm going to put it over in our school site when I send the replay for this. But I read it off. What I would suggest doing is over on YouTube, when the transcript pops up, you can pull it off of there. But because it's not super short. But I don't know which X account. We're on multiple X's at the moment. I'll just put it in my X real quick, and you can just, if you're not on my X, just go over there. But I'll just do a quick post to the live. I'm going to just do a reply on the live stream. Okay, so if anybody wants that prompt I just read off of what we were looking at, go to the live stream on my X at Madalyn Sklar, and I'm going to comment it on the live stream itself. Not in the chat, but in the post itself. So if anybody wants it, that's where it'll be. But thanks for watching us. Appreciate it. Let me show y'all. Let's take a look at Nano Banana Pro. Have any of y'all played with it? The new one is really good. Really, really good. I want to show y'all a few things.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't put it out anywhere yet, but I made a really, or I didn't make it, Nano made a really amazing graphic for me for a Substack I'm thinking about starting, as far as like the logo. And it was just like, blew my mind. I mean, even like having the words in there, and I told it how to adjust it, and it did. And it was like, I have no idea what it cost me if I had gone to a graphic designer. And I know, I'm not saying it's going to put them out of business, because I think there's still that original creativity. But for some people, if that's what's holding you back from starting something, you can get a really good, logo out of using things like Nano Banana.
Oh, absolutely. This was one I came across that was so cool. Listen to this prompt. Imagine we have made a camera so small it can be carried by an ant. The image we are seeing was taken from that camera as a golden retriever runs by to catch a tennis ball. I mean, that's just brilliant, right? So that's the prompt in Nano Banana. So, of course, I had to go try this, right? I had to go play with this because I'm like, okay, I want to see this in action. So let me show y'all my version of it. So I put the same exact prompt in, and it gave me this, but with the fisheye view, which is actually kind of cool. I was like, okay, that's neat. And when we're talking about the watermark, it's right down here at the bottom right. So I said, give me another version. Don't use fisheye. I wanted to give me a whole different view, but I guess I should have been more specific. So it did the same thing, but it removed the fisheye, and that's really cool. A camera on an ant. So it's fun playing with stuff like this, just to see like what can it do. And I'm quite amazed at the capabilities we're seeing with these tools. Really interesting. And if you follow on X, the Gemini, they have it's a G3 Mini, is at Gemini app. They are constantly posting in there, and I came across this post they did, and they said, since Gemini 3 and Nano Banana Pro release, we've been seeing the community come through with some incredible prompting tips and tricks. So I'll have the links to all the stuff we're looking at over in the YouTube description later. But there was just some really interesting tips people were sharing, and whoever was running this Gemini app X account responded to every single person. But like this person said, be specific. But as of yesterday, it seems to have tanked and not following. I guess it would, I'm sure, with all the people that were using this, as it's gotten so popular. But this one was really good. A good prompt isn't about fancy wording. It's about giving the model context, direction, and constraints so it knows what game it's playing. And it's like, that's totally it. And Gemini came back and said, context, direction, constraints, the holy trinity of prompting. And then this other person said, treat the model like a collaborator. Give it clear examples, constraints, and the exact output structure you want. So I just get like all kinds of great insights just by going through, these comments, which I always recommend. I know we've had a discussion about that before, where I told y'all when I found out about Whisk, part of Gemini, it was from a video clip I showed y'all. And in the comments, somebody was talking about, you got to go try Whisk AI, which is a Gemini, I guess like a beta tool. And it worked even better than the Nano Banana. And it was part of Google. So it was I was wondering if that was maybe Nano Banana Pro in beta. Y'all remember when we played around with that, the Whisk? I still use it. I still go in there. If Gemini doesn't make it exactly what I want, then I go take the same prompt and I go into Whisk. And it's almost always better in Whisk. All right, now I got really helpful ChatGPT tips for y'all that I think you're going to find helpful. Lots of little things that have come up that I've come across that. So I'm gonna just place like some short video clips. But when it comes to ChatGPT and M dashes, we've all shared our frustration. Like, why does it always do M dashes? Then they said, go into the personalization section where you can customize and we'll remember everything, and you put it in there. And y'all remember, like, we're all putting it in there, and he still did M dashes, and it drove me crazy. Well, I guess OpenAI finally got it fixed. So when you put that in there, it actually stays. I have not had any M dash issues like I used to. Are y'all still running into that?
I haven't gone ahead and put the prompt in to take it out. I think you got to kind of set it up that way, don't you? To like say, don't use it or something. I thought.
Yeah. You've got to go into to your settings and it's called personalization. Here, let me show you all real quick. I'll walk you through it real quick because it's helpful to do. If you're not currently doing it, I would go set it up. At least go in there and see how it's currently set. If you haven't set it at all, then let me show you my screen. So we're on ChatGPT on my account. At the bottom left, I'm on mobile, but it all works the same way. I mean, I'm on desktop, but if you're on mobile, it's basically the same. But at the bottom left, I'm going to click on my profile, and you want personalization. And when you go to personalization, you're going to see right here, custom instructions. And this is what you tell it, what you want it to do. And it's going to remember this for all chats. So this is kind of come from bits and pieces of other, people sharing examples of how they did it. So my version is write like a human, keep it professional but conversational. Don't use buzzwords like streamlined or delved, and stop doing delved finally too. Okay, so this is my updated part with M dashes. Do not use M dashes. If an M dash would normally appear, use a comma, hyphen, or period instead, even if it's not the perfect use of punctuation. And then other stuff I like to have. Avoid sounding like a press release. Be clear, direct, and natural, like you're writing to a smart friend. Tell it like it is. Don't sugarcoat responses. Add a skeptical, questioning approach. So I definitely recommend everybody take a moment when you have time and go into that section and make sure you have the parameters of how you want it to act. It finally works. It finally works. So what you have in there, it may not be perfect 100% of the time, but I don't remember the last time the word delve showed up in anything I've worked on. And I certainly don't see the M dashes like I used to, maybe once in a while, because it's still an appropriate use of punctuation, right? But it's been demonized because everybody, points the finger and say, oh, you're using ChatGPT, which is a real shame because I've always loved M dashes. And Rachel, as a writer, I imagine you probably liked them too, right?
Oh my God, I've been writing with M dashes like my entire freaking life. You're going to take those away from me out of my cold, dead hands, right? I mean, I am still going to be using M dashes, and I don't care what anybody says. And I hear a lot of people say that too. I'm not going to change my writing style. I'm 61. I've been writing for over 50 years. So no, not
and that's good to hear, Rachel, because I think if you really think about it, what is that percentage of people that are going to, I guess you say, judge you because you used an M dash? Like for me, if I'm into reading, I'm not a grammar, queen like my wife, because that's what she does for a living. I'm not going to sit there like, oh, you're using M dashes. This must not really be you. I don't think that way. I'm like, this is really good information. I think it's more about the conversationalism of the writing tells you if it was written by a person or written by a machine, is how I look at it.
Yeah,
I agree. And I think it's also important to realize that as writers, there's a lot of anyone putting out a book right now, you have to actually check a box, like within Amazon. AI was used to create this. Now, a lot of people think that let's say I use AI to create my Substack posts. I use it to research for me. And that was the other thing that I wanted to share about somebody asked about prompts for marketing. If you just put in, like you were saying, no M dashes, don't use the word delve. I've trained it to not share any 404 links. So it double checks those things. But the other thing that I think is really helpful, that I don't remember who told me this, it could have been you, Madalyn, I don't know, when AI first started like 2 years ago, is put your website in there, or put your Substack in there, or your YouTube channel, and say, look at these to get a feel for my voice, my tone, what I sound like. That is the easiest way, I think, to prompt an AI to get to know you and your voice.
It needs to know you. It needs to know you. And that's why when I'm in ChatGPT, because I've been using it so much, because I love that voice mode, it knows me so well. And if your AI doesn't know you very well, then yes, you need to feed it as much info so it knows you. But I actually have a video I'm going to play. I don't know if I'll have time to play everything, but I do have a video that talks about that, because it is important to make sure it fully understands you. And if it doesn't know enough about you, then it prompted to ask and have you answer questions so it has a better understanding. Barbara, are you going to say something?
No, I agree with you. But while you've been doing that, I have been researching that whisper flow in deeper detail that's available through Microsoft as well as independently. And it is the same thing, and I would expect that Microsoft is doing what it's doing with them as a potential purchase later on. But, it's a collaborative arrangement, and it is also upgradable if you do put it in through Microsoft. The Flow Pro Edition, which you would see independently on Whisper.ai, on Microsoft, on the upgrade is $12 a month. So I don't know. Very fascinating.
It's a great tool. I mean, I use WhisperFlow constantly. It's been worth it for me.
How much do you pay a month?
It's I'm doing the annual on the Pro, so that's
okay, I'll look at that. Yeah.
You get 20% off if you do a discount for annual, because so they got the free, they've got on the month to month $15 a month, and then they have enterprise. You got to contact them. But if you do the Pro annual, then it comes out to $12 a month. So I did, because what I did. I did the typical thing I always do. I do the free trial so I can get a feel for the tool. And if I fall in love with it and like, okay, this is something I can't live without, then I go get their Pro account. I did that with MAGAI. MAGAI started off free, but also when Dustin first created it, it was ChatGPT only, because that was really the only AI model at the time. But as I remember, Claude came next, so we added Claude, and the thing just started. It's like, whoa, there's like all these things you can do now. So then he made free trial with a paid account or something free, and I quickly okay, yeah, I want all these features. So I did month to month at first. I'm like, well, how long is this AI thing going to last? Right? Because when it was new, it's like, do you really want to do annual? I mean, we're talking when all this first started, right? About 3 years ago, I think it's been now. So I'm like, let me do month to month. And after about 2 or 3 months, I'm like, this is amazing. It's growing by leaps and bounds. Everything is turning into AI. So I'm like, I'm going to do the annual. And I haven't looked back. So as a matter of fact, I think I'm up for renewal this month. But WhisperFlow, MAGAI, these are tools that I'm always using. They're so great. Definitely, I'll put it in the ticker for a moment, the MAGAI, if anybody just got here. There's the link to that, a discount. Let me show y'all just real quick, back to the whole M- thing and the personalization. I'm just going to play this short video on that.
We can finally stop ChatGPT from using M dashes. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in your settings. By the way, I'm Will Follow me for more AI tips. So these M dashes have become the most obvious telltale sign that something was written by AI. Why does AI do that? Because it was trained on loads of formal literature documents that are using punctuation properly. And that includes the emphasis dash. It's a really useful thing to use in sentences to lead into something you want to give a bit of emphasis to. So it's the proper way to hyphenate. I mean, I, like most people, thought there was just one hyphen or dash type, and it's the one next to the 0 on your keyboard, right? There is an angry minority of people that have been doing it properly all along, using the emphasis dash themselves, but now they're getting called out for using AI. But if you want to stop ChatGPT from using those M dashes, go to ChatGPT, click on your profile pic, go to personalization, go to custom instructions, and then in that box, add a rule that says exactly this. Do not use M dashes. If an M dash would normally appear, use a comma, hyphen, or period instead. And this is the really important bit, even if it's not the perfect use of punctuation, right? So we're telling it, you can break the rules, just don't use M dashes. Just save your settings, test it. You might still see a few slip through. This is not perfect, but it significantly reduces the amount of them.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, his was part of how I redid mine that I was reading off to y'all. I like the way he worded it. But yeah, good to know information for the future, to make this all work better for you. And I see there's a comment. I'm in Gaza. Can I earn money using Twitter, social media? I need a strategy. I'm a data analyst. Making money on Twitter doing social media is not what it used to be. So I don't know about that.
I can talk to that. I think many of us were eligible to get paid for things, right? So we were doing a lot of spaces on Twitter and we were trying to grow and blah, blah, blah. And even when I had one tweet go viral. It was my dad's birthday. He was turning 86 or 87. He's 88 now. And I said, my dad says nobody on Twitter is going to be interested in some old dude who's turning 85. But if you feel, or whatever it was, if you feel like sending him a birthday message, please do. Here he is eating ice cream. Mark Hamill responded.
Wow.
And it just blew up. That was still not enough for me to get to qualify to be paid on X. Yeah. And I've been there for 15 years. So good luck if you want to try that, but I think you have to be realistic.
It's not easy, that's for sure.
It's really not. The only way I think to make money on X, and this is my final point, is if you become a reply guy.
Yeah, that became a real popular thing a few years ago.
But I think they've built that into the algorithm now that it's being counted as spam. If every single tweet that comes in, you respond to, then they'll count you as a spam account, and then they'll won't show your stuff.
If you reply, I believe that if you reply to a political post of a major person in with an opposite opinion, I think I did that once, and I made the comment, put it down, came back that night, and oh my goodness, I've never gotten that many hits on a reply, and they weren't nice.
Yeah. I would also just say, for this particular question and anybody else, I would just go into ChatGPT or your favorite AI tool and ask it for help and advice. It'll tell you. You can have it do some research and see, what do people need help with, and help me develop a plan to do this. That's what I would recommend, is utilize ChatGPT. All right, we're getting low on time. I want to show y'all a few cool things with ChatGPT. So y'all know how much I love the voice thing, where I just talk to it like a person. I talk to it. It talks back to me as a person. I use it constantly. I was using it this morning on my morning walk with my dog. Anyway, they made an update last week, and I was so pleasantly surprised when this happened because I wasn't expecting it. But let me play this short little video for y'all so you can see what's new.
Hey, Rocky. Great to have you here.
Hey, so can you tell me what's new with voice?
Absolutely. Voice is now built right into our chat, so you get a live transcript as we talk. Plus, I can show you things like maps, weather, and more in real time.
Okay. Can you show me a map of the best bakeries in the Mission District?
Sure. Here's a map of the top bakeries in the Mission District. As you'd expect, Tartine is right up there as a favorite.
Tartine. Okay, what kind of pastries do they have?
So at Tartine, they've got some beloved pastries like their morning bun, which is buttery and cinnamon sweet, classic flaky croissants, rich pain au chocolat, and even a frangipane croissant filled with almond cream.
Sorry, how do you pronounce that one? The frangipane?
Yeah, no problem. It's pronounced frangipane, so kind of like frangican.
Okay, amazing. Thank you.
Isn't that wild? I just can't get over how much it just keeps developing. So I'm using it last week, like I always do. And all of a sudden, it's showing the transcript while it's talking to me. I'm like, it's never done that before. Usually it's just a screen and, you see the, like with the audio thing, like just the like a waveform thing, right? And I can actually see the transcript, read it on the screen as it's talking to me. And then when I saw that post about the map thing, I tried that. I'm like, show me a map, blah, blah, blah. And it's really getting super smart. They can do other things while you're talking to it. So I was super impressed. But if you don't want that and you want to use the original experience, it says you can turn on what's called separate mode under the settings in the voice mode section. So, I like it. So I'm a fan. I think that's great. So I wanted y'all to be aware. Also, what's happened with this latest update with voice mode is because I had a little chat with Chad, like I always do. And I saved this little part to read for y'all because because I asked it, because this is what I do. I'm like, well, tell me more about, these new features with the voice. So it told me that there's more than what we just saw on the screen there. So it says with updated voice mode, I can understand interruptions. I mean, it could be 4, but not great. So apparently it's gotten better with interruptions. You can jump in while I'm talking and I'll pause and listen to you. It's a lot more natural. Plus you can ask me to describe things if you show me something on camera. Well, we already knew it could do. I mean, I was showing you all that like a year ago. And I can just give you feedback in real time. So it's all about making it feel a bit more like we're chatting naturally. So it's just improving more and more.
You just made me think of something, and maybe it's not there yet. Can you make it an Alexa skill? So you would talk to chat instead of Alexa? Because I know there's ways to put apps into Alexa. So instead of asking Alexa, you could say whatever the chat's name is. Yes.
I would ask ChatGPT if you could do that, and how would you do it?
There you go. Exactly. Whenever in doubt, just
there you go, Bez. You smart Alec.
But that's a great point. That's what I always do. If I'm not sure about something, let me just ask it myself. But you know what I do more and more, like when I was just reading off from my chat with it, is the whole camera thing. Like, I love that I can be on, and if I want to show it something, I turn on the camera while I'm talking to it and point it at whatever and have it look at it. I had it look at something the other day. What was it? Like, I don't remember what it was.
Oh,
I was trying to have it explain something to me and like read the label on some food stuff and like, just whatever, anything you think of, just ask it.
You got my brain spinning, Madalyn.
Yeah.
It's evil.
Yeah, I don't worry about writing the perfect prompt. I put like a dirty prompt, and then I'll say, "Hey, optimize this prompt." And if I leave something out, it'll ask me to clarify something. So I know people all obsessed with the perfect prompt. I'm like, AI is smarter than me. Well, I'll ask.
I agree, Bez. Like, I know a lot of people are like, can I take a course or what are the best prompts? But I think if you just work with it and you say, this is what I really want to do. I had a very complicated project. It was like 3 different documents that I had to merge into one by category. It took it 30 seconds. It would have taken me days, probably.
I mean, one time it gave me a recommendation to make a web app, and then it said, would you like to see a demo? And I'm like, sure. And voila, I vibe coded an app. And I just think everybody here is an expert in their field. And if you can command the AI, your output's going to be really good versus those people that like try to get knowledge out of the AI. Many of you have domains of expertise. You'll get better output, and you'd be surprised that you could vibe code something.
Well, I think even the whole Gemini Pro, this whole new thing with 3.0, the whole point of Nana Banana is like, don't try to look for the perfect prompt, right? Be more descriptive. Just talk like you would as a normal person. Don't think you got to hit all these. And to your point, Rachel, right? Then it's like, well, that's not quite what I meant. Do this. It's like, oh, okay. And it'll
That's
do
what I
that.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really shows the evolution of AI because, yeah, early on, you had to get good at prompting. It was a thing. They call it prompt engineering. And I'm like, oh my God, this sounds hard. But you had to figure out how to prompt it properly. Whereas it's evolved so much now, you can just talk it out. And and you may have to do a little bit of back and forth and have it ask you questions, but it'll happen. So I agree with you, Bez. Like, yeah, I just talk to it and we work through it and figure out. So I don't have to have this perfect prompt because it's not like that anymore. And that's why I love the voice mode on ChatGPT because it's just so easy. It's just like, let me just talk to it. Because then you feel like you're talking to a person. I mean, that's how it's been for me. All right. Since, of course, we're already at the top of the hour, let me play one short little video because this is very eye-opening. A great little video I came across from Stu McLaren, which I wasn't expecting because you don't think of Stu McLaren as Mr. Techie giving like this great techie advice because he's like known as the membership guy. Like he developed membership software a gazillion years ago, and he teaches courses on how to grow your membership community. But he has a really helpful video here that is a good PSA that I want to share with y'all. So we'll wrap up with this.
Your private emails are being scanned right now by AI. See, most Gmail users have no clue what happened last month, but Gmail flipped the switch that lets Google's Gemini AI scan and analyze every email and your attachments, financial docs, private messages, all of it. And the wild part is that you didn't say yes, it was just turned on automatically. So this means that Gemini can now use your data to train AI models, build ad profiles, and learn from your personal info, even your private stuff. But here's the part that nobody tells you. You can actually shut it off, and it takes less than 10 seconds. So here's what you got to do. So you're going to go into Gmail in a web browser, and you're specifically going to go up here to the gear icon. Click that, and then you will click See All Settings. Now, once you're in here, you're going to scroll down until you see this right here, Smart Features. See that? You're going to uncheck that. So turn off and reload, okay? And then the next one, once that has loaded, you're gonna scroll down to this one right here where it says Google Workspace Smart Features. You're gonna click that button and you're gonna uncheck both of these. So check those, and click Save. That stops Gemini from reading your emails, so make sure you do this before you forget, and then save this and send this to a friend who also uses Gmail.
Isn't that helpful?
Wow.
I mean, I saw that. And of course, I go and check mine. And sure enough, it was all turned on. And I'm like, holy cow. I mean, they do this where it's so unsuspecting, because it's hidden in the settings and it doesn't look obvious. When he what do you call it? Smart features. Isn't that what he called it? Like, it's not obvious that that's to train their AI.
Well, here's another thing. There's a lot of people that send financial documents via email. They'll put encrypt, in these brackets, and it's supposed to encrypt the email. But Gmail and all these other email providers, it's not secure. It's like if that email's going out from you think it's encrypted, it can actually be read in midstream to its destination, and there's social security numbers, there's bank account numbers and stuff. And I tell people, we're going to go into a secure environment, upload it, and you got all your keys and everything. But you'd be surprised. I mean, why are you sending financial instruments? But I get it. You go to the DNB, they want you to upload they even want you to send like back and forth, like just to even send a picture of a document. So it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But that's a good tip. And he's actually, his membership platform has a AI that goes through video and
Yes.
pulls out so he's got some advanced stuff
He
with
came
his
up with that
video.
years ago before the whole AI revolution.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out, and it was it was way back, and I was like, that is amazing. So that you could actually you could keyword find
Yeah.
something from a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
that
mean,
was all look, that was AI machine learning. It's just
it was, yeah.
nobody was sharing their secret sauce until OpenAI said, "Hey, it is available for everybody." But I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
recruiter. I had people asking me to find ML, AI, LLM engineers, but they were keeping it, their
Yeah.
own proprietary stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is always so much fun hanging out and visiting with you all and learning and helping each other. Yeah, I'm glad I got that little PSA one in at the end because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget that. I still have other stuff, but we'll save it for next week. But just a reminder, everybody, to come join us on the Skool platform because that's where all of this continues, and there's a lot more information over there. Just go to skool.com/Madalyn Sklar and just lots and lots of info. So that's it for today. Any final parting thoughts as we go?
For
I'm
me,
great. I did that
Okay.
while you were running that. I went in and I did it. So now I'll go do that on
Do it for all your Gmails. That's what I did.
and
I
all of
followed
my
it.
client accounts, everything. But yeah,
It's
gosh, so
turned on
sneaky.
for all of them. It is
So
sneaky.
sneaky.
It is sneaky. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Mm-mm.
And it's interesting because I'm Google Workspace and they say, "Oh, we're not training on the model." I was just on this morning on the Looker webinar with, there were all the features and what's going on with Looker Studio to do analytics, and they make all these promises, but it's hard to believe Google. It really is.
Yeah.
Because they do stuff like this.
Right. Right. So that's why it's important for us to be aware of these things so we can, try to stay a step ahead.
And a lot of us who are vibe coding, our stuff is not secure. So just be
Yeah.
mindful of that. So if you ever talk to your cybersecurity friends, they're like, "Oh my goodness."
Well, I
But
know
I'm
when
just
you think of them being so extreme, there's a reason why, because they know everything. I've been around
it's,
enough people like that to know, it's like, yeah.
like even how you rip stuff up and throw it in the trash, and then they go back and tape it. They go,
Yeah.
like, you got to get a paper
So
shredder
we
that's
want
really good.
convenience. We want convenience, so we just do all these things, not realize. I remember when Alexa came out. Oh no, like the IT engineers, all of them were like, no, stay away from that. You don't want that. It can listen in on everything, but it's hard to think like, oh, does it really? Nah, but it's nice having the convenience of all these different tech things. Until you hear the news about how I remember that first time with Alexa where something and it was a big deal and I'm like, "Ooh, don't be surprised."
Well, even if you do GPTs and you sell them or you give them access to your community, you have to that is your IP, your business, your secret sauce on the back end. And
Right.
if you don't tell ChatGPT to not, because people can go in there, let me see behind the curtain and on your GPT, and they can see it if you don't tell ChatGPT to not allow that. So you got to lock it down because your way of thinking, your own processes to produce that GPT, people are interested in that, but you got to protect your own IP.
Yeah. Yeah, great advice. Well, thank you so much for hanging out today.
Yeah.
We'll be back next Thursday to do more. I had some other really cool ChatGPT tips I wanted to show y'all and things that can be applied to other AI tools if you have a preference, but just some great tips and prompts and things that I think y'all find interesting. I had a really funny one, but there's wasn't enough time. But I'll definitely put it at the top of my list next week. But thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Well, will you have them in your community so we can check
I will
out
put
you?
it in school. Yeah. I'm getting more and more stuff in there because I just don't want to just bombard with too many posts. I don't want to be one of those type of communities. So I don't constantly post, but and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like because some of this stuff, I think I need to just kind of group some of this, like some of these ChatGPT tips that I've come across. Maybe I'll just do it as one post and put stuff in there like that.
Well, there's different levels of people, and sometimes what we think is basic for some people, like they don't even know how to take a screenshot, So
Right,
there's a
right,
whole
right.
level of what we think is 101 or even remedial, and we're like, and people like
Yeah,
have this
yeah,
deer in the headlight look. So
yeah. But y'all feel free to post stuff over on Skool too. Like it's, when y'all come
I'm gonna
across things
start.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the vibe coding sounds interesting. I'd like to learn more about that. So feel free to post stuff in
Yeah,
there.
look, you already talked to your AI, so
I
just
know,
present
and I've been
a
doing.
business
Yeah,
problem. Okay, all right, that's it.
I
That's
I
it right
was
there.
I was thinking of that like last week, and I'm like, there's a problem, and I'm wondering if ChatGPT could help me vibe code an app to solve it. And so I just had like a discussion with it to like just kind of brainstorm stuff.
Try
So
Claude. Claude is pretty good. That's how I mean, and I'm
yeah,
sure ChatGPT can do it, but the thing is, I didn't even use any words vibe coding. I just was really deep into the problem and what are my options and how can I do this? So it's easy and it came with 4 options and they were all sort of complicated except a web app. And when it gave me the option to like, well, would you like to see a demo? And I'm like, yeah,
you're like, yes, please.
yeah. And it showed me, I was like, oh, I think I just vibe coded something. And now it gave me ideas to, I mean, you could have a Google sheet here. You want data to whatever,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised what you can vibe code. If you can talk, you can vibe
Well,
code.
and then and then if you need a place to put it, you vibe code something like, okay, now I need a place. You got Lovable and Replit, which are, I mean, man, those sites have
You
exploded
can
with.
use a Pickaxe Studio, and there's a free version, and you can actually sell them, from there, and just hook up your Stripe account, and so the user just sees the interface. So you can get a free account now. They have these credits, but to get around the credit issue, you just connect your credit card to the API, and it's just fractions of a penny,
Yeah.
and you won't even use your credits.
What's the site? What's it called again?
Pickaxe.co.
So Pickaxe.
.co.
PICK.
PICKAXE.co. Yeah. They're out of LA. They're a startup and they got some funding and just a good place to, and it's reasonably priced. And again, you can, when you see credits, well, you may want to consider connecting the API. Now, the problem with a lot of this is memory, and you solve the memory issue because you may have a lot of stuff you're putting on the back end to train your, because you can do full-on bots here and then you can sell them. Like I'm doing micro bots and then selling them. Then I can string all these little micro bots together and sell them as a bundle, and that's what this will let you do. And they got all sorts. It's always improving and stuff. But they have 2 community calls twice a week, once in the morning, once in the evening, so they get the different time zones. But like if you use the free one, they take out 25%. You get 75%. And if you use the pro account, they only keep 10%. So I'm right now using the free. So
Yeah.
when I get to a point where it makes sense for me to upgrade. But on the memory side, if you have a lot of data, you want to use like an Airtable or something else to connect it. But that's for another conversation. Depends how much you're loading in. So just FYI.
So yeah, they have free, no credit card
Yeah, the
required.
free. Yeah.
And it includes quite a bit.
And say,
That's
do the
interesting.
show 4 more. Do the show 4 more on the free version. You can load up to 3 documents. So, you're sort of like your knowledge base, right? You can only do one action, which if you're doing a microbot, that may be plenty, like one action, right? And then that's how you just start. And like I said, you can get away with the credits by just hooking, going and doing the API thing. And
Yeah. It's very interesting. Thank you for sharing this with us, because it's I always love learning new things from everybody. Makes us all smarter. All right, I got to run. Thank you all again. We'll be back next Thursday. Come hang out with us over on School at Madalyn Sklar. We continue the discussion, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye-bye.
all right,
Bye,
bye-bye.
everybody.